Hi guys, Steph here. Okay, today we've got a lovely and a very interesting fountain pen. Now let's have a look at the box first of all, because that gives us a bit of a clue what we have inside. So let's have a look at the top here. You'll see, well, you can see first of all the box is a little bit tatty, but I think it's in superb condition for its age. Now again, let's have a look there. You can see it says the Swan Pen, and then just underneath there you'll notice it says Mabie Todd Bard. So that gives us a little clue what we've got inside. There we go again, Mabie Todd Bard. We've got I think it's a London address there, another London address to the left, and a Manchester address to the right there, not very far from me. Underneath there, write your name below and empty the pen before sending it by post. So we've got somebody's name, but what we've also got, let's bring it nice and close. You can see to the right there we've got an address, and it looks to be dated 1904. Absolutely, 1904. So over 100 years old. So without further ado, let's open it. Let's take the pen out, pop the box to one side, and there we have it. So if the box is a little bit of a clue for us, we've got a fountain pen that is from around about 1904, and as it said on the box as well, it said Mabie Todd Bard. Now the thing about it's actually, some of you will know it as Mabie Todd and Company. Now before Mabie Todd and Company, the name of the company was Mabie Todd Bard. Okay, now they stopped using the word Bard around about 1908. So again, this being 1904, very, very feasible. As we said, it's a Mabie Todd Bard company. Now let me try and show you the barrel imprint. Now because of the age of the pen, it's a little bit worn, but let's keep it nice and still and you may be able to see. And what I'll do, I'll just simply twirl it a little bit, but the barrel imprint actually reads the Swan Pen. Then underneath it has some patent numbers, and then just below that it has Mabie Todd Bard, New York. Okay, let's just try and show you the pattern on the pen. Again, a little bit worn, but you may notice it has this sort of triangular chase pattern. There we have. Okay, so once again, Mabie Todd not Mabie Todd Company, Mabie Todd Bard, New York. You'll notice it comes in this black hard rubber, a little bit sort of discoloured, which again, more than forgivable for the age of the pen. In my opinion, it's still in superb condition. It's got these two gold bands to the barrel as well. One other thing that it has, this one's a little bit clearer, so let's show you. There we go. We've got a number, the 4671, and then if I turn it round a little bit, not too sure, I'm trying to look over the camera as I'm turning it round. Okay, is that it? It has, I think it's M and then Bard or BRD. So again, Mabie Todd Bard. Let's just keep turning it round. Okay, because it's a little bit difficult for me to see over the camera, so I'm hoping that's clear for you. We've got a 4671 and we've got MBERD once again for Mabie Todd and Bard. So we've got an antique fountain pen. How does it fill? Now, for all intents and purposes, some of you people will know this as a, well, if you like, a bulb filler. Okay, now the bulb filler, what it simply means is in the olden days they had a little sort of bulb filling sort of utensil, if you like, and you unscrew the section and you fill the barrel with your bulb filler. Although it's actually a bulb filler, let's actually take the cap off. The cap is actually a friction fit cap. Now the pen, basically, I've not touched, I've just simply given it a wipe. I've cleaned the feed and the section, etc., and I've also cleaned inside the barrel. But as far as the outer pen's concerned, I'm just simply going to leave it as it is, because again, in this case, I believe it gives it a little bit of character. So as we said, a bulb filler or an eyedropper, and you people will know it by simply unscrewing the section like so, and then filling the barrel with the bulb filler. Now in this case it's slightly different. This pen has what we term as a plug feed. Now let's take it up to the nib, and I'm going to keep it as still as possible. So first of all, you'll notice there it's got this sort of what we term as an over and under feed. Now again, slightly different on this specific model in that the top there, you'll see it has what we term as a gold top feed. There's a sideways view, and then if I turn it round, and hopefully you can see that there, you'll see it's what we term as a plug feed. And you notice this sort of, yeah, as it says, this plug to the middle of the section there. Now in effect, what actually happens, well, first of all, the over, or should I say the gold top feed there, what does that do? Well, nice and simply, that allows the ink to wick to the end of the nib. It also, if I show you a head-on view, you'll notice it's got this sort of like a U shape, and that's to give it a little bit of a reinforcement, because the gold top feed there actually, it stops, if you like, it stops the nib over flexing. Okay, so when you put a little bit of pressure on, it goes against this top feed, and that stops it over flexing. As I said, underneath we've got this plug feed, and to fill this pen, basically what we do is we get our nail and we pull out this little plug feed like so. There we go. And in effect, although it's what we term as an eyedropper, as opposed to undoing the section, we fill it inside this plug feed. Now let's undo this section for you to try and show you, if you like, the workings, because inside what we have is this wire. Now the wire sits against the inside of the barrel in there, and that actually is what they termed as an agitator, and it also helps to regulate the ink flow to the nib. Now this little sort of plug here, okay, as he showed you, goes into the underside of the feed there. Now interesting in that, let's show you actually inside, and you notice there it's got this, well, triangular or a square hole running through the section. So a little bit strange that we've got a round plug going into a square hole. Rather interesting. Now, what does the plug feed do? As we'll show you in a moment, it helps, or it's designed to actually fill the pen. But in theory as well, what they used to say is that it helps to regulate the ink flow to the nib. Now, whether that works or not is quite debatable. It'd be interesting to find out. Okay, so I hope that makes it a little bit clear. So we've got the plug that goes inside the feed. Incidentally, the whole feed, there's actually a tubeless section inside which you can actually pull out and remove the gold top feed and the feed underneath. So I've not done that because I've simply cleaned everything, and I'm going to leave it as it is. So inside we've got an inner section, if you like. I believe this bar to the top as well, the gold top feed, may actually be gold. I do understand that these wires here allegedly are sterling silver. Now let's pop the wire back in there, inside the underside of the feed as far as it'll go. Let's pop the wires back into, you'll also notice how wide apart they are because the wires actually connect with the side of the barrel. So let's pop that down. I've applied just a smidgen of silicone grease to the thread. So let's screw that all the way back home like so. So once again, the idea behind it, as I say, it's an eyedropper. As opposed to removing this section, which in theory you can still do, the idea was, you know, you didn't have to remove any parts. And as I said earlier, this plug supposedly helps to regulate the ink flow. Should we try it? Why not? Let's try it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring on my ink, and I'm going to bring on my syringe. So let's take in a good amount of ink. Nice and slowly does it. The barrel, actually, believe it or not, takes a good capacity of ink. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Let me just get lean over. Let's pop that just down for a moment. Let me just get a tissue, just in case we have an accident. So, as I say, in the olden days, as opposed to a syringe, you would have a bulb filler, which the end would be come to a sharp point, and again, to fill the pen, you would get your nail, lift out this sort of plug feed like so. You would insert the eyedropper down inside, and let's nice and slowly, fingers crossed, no accidents. There we go. So as you can see, we've got a good amount of ink inside the barrel, and at this point what you would do, you would pop the plug feed back like so, So what we've done, we've filled the pen with the ink, and you can see there we've got the plug filler back in place. As I said, it supposedly helps to regulate the ink flow, but I've never tested this pen, I've never had one. I'm going to, well, basically let's have a look, see what happens. We may have problems, I don't know. Excuse me. One of the things I'm going to do, I'm just going to hold the pen a little bit like so as I'm talking to you, and for some people that are not aware, what I'm doing is just sort of warming the inside of the barrel, maybe removing any bubbles, stopping any burping, etc. But as I say, it's over 100 years old, so let's have a bash, let's see what happens. Okay, so you're going to see exactly what I'm going to see, so if we've got any problems, then we'll both see it together. So what we have is, there we go, got some blobbing already. So let's sort of actually just pop it a bit further in. Let's see if that makes a difference. And the reason for the blobbing, as I say, let's get our tissue. It's always nice to see this happening live, is because in some cases the ink is quite cold. So once again, I'm just trying to sort of use the heat to my hand just to heat it up. Let's push the, is that as far as it'll go? I think so. Let's try it again. So there we go. So we've got the Swan, and this one is made by Mabie Todd, and as we said earlier, Mabie Todd and Bard. As you saw earlier, made in New York, and we're dating it very early 1900s. So as you can see, so far so good. We're not getting any blobbing. So that's looking good, and it's writing nicely. Now, because we've got this sort of, if it's like this gold top feed to the top, as you can see, I'm holding it to warm it up slightly again. So we've got this gold top feed, which indicates to me that it should have a flex nib. So let's take a look to see if it has flex. And the answer, nice and simply, is yes, it does. And there we go. So on the downward stroke, we're actually getting a broad line. So there we have it. So after the initial first sort of blobbing, whether it's actually the fact that we've pushed the plug feed a little bit further in, who knows, but there we go. It's writing absolutely lovely, and writing with a flexible nib. You can see we're getting quite a broad line, we're getting a lovely variation in the line as well. So yeah, so far it does what it says on the tin, and it seems to work. So there we go. Let's pop that to one side. So what we'll do, once we've done the video, I'll actually empty the pen, we'll just flush the barrel out again, and we'll try and find a new home for this pen. Now the flexible nibs here, they're actually, yeah, you know, it takes a little bit to sort of write with them. There's people out there that can write with flex nibs, no problem. For me, I always tend to have a little bit of a problem, but there are people that write and have beautiful writing and make these nibs sing. So I hope you've enjoyed looking at the pen. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the sort of interesting, you know, the way it actually works, etc. I hope that's made it a little bit clearer for you. Don't forget, leave a comment below, don't be shy. Have you subscribed? Why not? Subscribe now. And don't forget, if you subscribe, you'll get notified of any up and coming videos that I do. And don't forget, people, yeah, we've still got a problem. Wherever you are around the world, stay safe. But for now, I'll just say bye bye for now.